Hey friends, it is Lane with Tim's Nation. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about the DeathWatch that I'm bringing today. I actually have a GT that I'm playing in this weekend in Akron, the Akron Brew Brawl. It's a smallish GT. There's only 24 players, but I'm excited. It should be a lot of fun. I'm taking my DeathWatch. This is the list I'm taking. I've kind of dialed in on this DeathWatch list. I don't know if it's the best. I've run it in a couple RTTs over the last month. I've played in 2 RTTs with it. Both times I went 2-1. Both times I won my first 2 games and lost my third one. Both times the only person I lost to was the person who won the tournament, and both times the only army I lost to was Custodes. So Custodes are kind of my nemesis with this DeathWatch army. The dice will be dice, and it just turns out that sometimes when I go big on my big turn, when I'm going to hit really hard, they just make a lot more of their 4-ups than they should be, or more 4-ups than I would like them to make. So this is what I've kind of dialed in on as my competitive singles event DeathWatch list. I played a DeathWatch list a month or so ago that I took to a teams tournament where I was more focused on just killing my opponent. Didn't work out super well for the teams event, but I'm still pretty new to the whole teams format. So this is the singles event GT DeathWatch list I'm running. You'll see a bunch of things in here you like. You might think I'm missing a couple things. Throw it in the comments. Let me know what you think I'm doing wrong here. But we have more scoring units than I had on the channel last time because we gotta score some points in this game. Gotta have a few action monkeys, that sort of thing. So we've got that. Let's go through the list here, and then we'll talk about how I plan to use it. All right, this is 1,995 points of DeathWatch in the Black Spear Task Force Detachment. So Black Spear, of course, gives us our mission tactics, where once per game, I can choose an ability that my army, all the DeathWatch units will have from one command phase till the next command phase. I can give the whole army sustain, give the whole army lethals. I can give the whole army 6s to hit or precision, and I can use each of those once per game. Moving on, let's talk about some characters. We do have a Captain in Gravis Armor. Captain in Gravis Armor, of course, gives his unit a free strat once per battle round. Of course, this is different from the Watchmaster's ability. It has a different name, so I can use both those abilities in the same turn. The Grav Captain is pretty durable. He can survive a little bit. I have mine equipped with the Power Fist and the Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle just because he's going to be with the Indominator team and they will be shooting a lot. So he will use his ability for free strats to buff up their shooting, and he's contributing a couple 3-damage Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle shots in there that'll help out a little bit. He has the enhancement Tome of Ectoclades. You guys know it. You guys know I love it. Once per game, I just get to pick 2 Oath targets. So there, I get to kill more for one good turn. Moving on, we do have a Judicar. The Judicar, of course, punches pretty hard in combat, and he gives his unit the fight first. I have him attached to a DeathWatch veteran squad. He has the enhancement Beacon and Jealous. This makes the Judicar just a very powerful threat as far as countering my opponent's attempts at charging, because he gives his unit Deep Strike, and they get to rapid ingress for free. And he gives his unit fight first. So there's a lot going on here, but basically at the end of my opponent's movement phase, I can rapid ingress his unit, hopefully so that when they charge, I can heroically intervene and fight first with the Judicar and a 10-man of DeathWatch veterans. That's 4 heavy Thunderhammers, plus all the other power weapons going in there. So it's a very potent counter charge bit of tech here I've used before. And because it's a kill team, I can up be downing them too. So if I use it once early a game, I can up be downing them and do it again because the rapid ingress doesn't say anything about once per turn or once per battle. It just says if you can use rapid ingress for free on this unit. So that's the Judicar. We also have a Watchmaster. Man, the Watchmaster just punches really hard. He gives his unit advance, shoot, charge, fallback, shoot, charge. They can do all the things. He gives his unit a free strat. And again, like I said, this is different from the name of the captain's free strat ability, so they can both be used in the same battle round. And then man, this guy slaps. His attack is the Vigil Spear. When he punches in combat, it's 6 attacks, strength 6, AP 2, D3 damage. But I've given him Thief of Secrets. That gives him +1 AP strength and damage, and once he's killed a model, he just has to kill a model by himself, then he goes up to +2 strength, +2 AP, and +2 damage. And man, when this guy is buffed up, he has the ability to slap. There are so many times when he will just go and wreck a vehicle way bigger, punch way above his weight class. Because again, he does have lance on that spear. So when he's going in with it on the charge, even the toughest stuff, he's wounding on 4s and just on high AP and D3 plus 2 damage once he's buffed up. So he slaps real hard. He's expensive. With the enhancement, he's 130 points, but I think it's worth it for something that's going to hit so hard. And then finally, we do have a lieutenant with combi weapons. So we've got our lone op lieutenant. I pick an objective at the beginning of the game, and my whole army rerolls 1s to wound against enemy units that are on the objective, as long as the lieutenant's alive. Plus, he's got lone op, so he's great for holding out an objective. He's got a counter move, so if you move within 9 of him, he can move away 6 inches. So great for scoring, utility, that sort of thing. That's why we've got him in the list. Also has infiltrate, so he gets out there early. As for battle line, we do have 2 squads of DeathWatch veterans, a 10-man and a 5-man. So these guys reroll 1s to hit all the time, and if the opponent, the target unit they're going after, is Xenos, not Chaos and not Imperium, then they do reroll the entire hit roll, meaning they're very efficient into Xenos units. So I've got a 10-man and a 5-man. For every 5 guys, there are 2 heavy Thunderhammers. These DeathWatch Thunderhammers are 3 attacks apiece. They hit on 4s, unfortunately, but they are strength 10, AP 2, flat 3 damage with dev wounds. And with the rerolls and the buffs from the unit, oftentimes they are just hitting very hard. Because they're strength 10, they can whiff sometimes when they're punching up into higher toughness, stuff that's higher than toughness 10. And of course, if there's any negatives to hit in combat, because they are normally hitting on 4s, going to hit on 5s, they can kind of whiff there. But oftentimes into elite infantry, they're doing really well because they are flat 3 damage. It gives you the punch there. The rest of the squad does have a variety of, there can be 2 storm shields for every 5 guys, some power swords, a Xenophase blade, and I got a couple frag cannons in the big 10-man squad, just because that's a fair amount of shooting and can do a little bit of work there too. Moving on, we do have a Centurion Devastator squad. Love these guys. You know, in the last balance update, they went down in points. They're 330 for the 6-man. They can still be upbeat and downied in DeathWatch until GW takes that away. They're in a pretty good position here because for 1 CP, I can pick them up and deep strike them in my turn. And for 1 CP, I can give them one of those mission tactics. So often in most games, I'm spending a lot of CP on giving them sustained, because that means they're hitting very hard in the shooting phase, but they're also pretty good in Overwatch, especially if my target walks on or off of an objective. Getting full rerolls with sustained in the Overwatch is pretty potent with these guys. So each one has a twin-linked las cannon, and each one has a missile that is D3 shots with blast, strength 9, AP 2, D3 damage. That means today these guys are going for that 20-man Berserker squad. DJ's running a 20-man Berserker squad. So if I shoot these guys at them, they will get 6 D3 plus 24 shots for the blast into a 20-man squad. So that should take care of those Berserks. I mean, it should. We'll see. If I get eyes on them, it'll be fantastic. Even in Overwatch, just that many shots is going to produce some results. And the Dev Sense, they're not vehicles. They are infantry. In my last tournament, I had a rough time with Kyria Draxus from the Custodes, just acing these guys with her anti-infantry shots. But they are toughness 7, 2 up armor, 4 wounds apiece. They should be relatively durable. Moving on, we do have 1 Indomitor kill team. This is the Gravis armor kill team. Each of these guys is toughness 6 with 3 wounds. There's a lot of stuff in the game now that just does flat 3 damage, which these guys don't like, but they do a fair amount of damage on their own too. So the models in this do not get their separate rules. The Eradicators do not get their reroll hits, wounds, and damage into vehicles rolls. The only rule they get is the units rule, and that is when they shoot the nearest eligible target, they get +2 strength to their gun, and when they complete a charge, they get +2 strength to their attacks in combat. And both of those are very relevant, because obviously there's 3 Eradicators in the squad. Each of those melta guns goes from strength 9 to strength 11 on the nearest eligible target, and that is very relevant in the toughness 10 vehicles and monsters that we see a lot of. And then the aggressors here, their twin-linked bolters go from strength 4 to strength 6, which is great. Their power fists in combat are twin-linked, and they go from strength 8 to strength 10. All very relevant strength increases on a lot of these. And then, of course, the bolters in this unit are very strong. Kind of the main reason I take them. I've got 2 bolt rifles here that are 2 shots, strength 5, AP2, 2 damage with lethal. Of course, when they get the +2 strength, they get up to strength 7. And then there's 2 heavy bolters. These heavy bolters hit on 3s. They're strength 5, AP2, flat 3 damage. They have sustained and lethal all the time. So oftentimes these really punch up quite a bit. That flat 3 damage is super relevant right now. Moving on from the Indomitors, we do have a Talon Strike kill team. So the Talon Strike is made up of 5 Plasma Inceptors and 5 Jump Intercessors. 3 of those Jump Intercessors have Plasma Pistols. Their unit special rule is when they come in from reserve, they get extra AP, shooting and fighting. So if they make a 9-inch charge, they get the AP and Lance in combat. But it's only on the turn they come in, so they got to make that 9-inch. But the real reason I like them is the extra AP when they come in from reserve. And of course, with DeathWatch, I have the ability to uppy and downy them. So as you know, a Plasma Inceptor, when he overcharges his Plasma Incinerators, they go up to AP3. When this unit comes in from reserve, they will be at AP4. I have a strat to give the unit extra 6 inches range and extra AP. So these guys can get up to a huge AP5, which means anything that does not have an invuln is in trouble. Oh yeah, you got 2 up armor and you're in cover? Great. I'm still AP5. Maybe you'll get a 6-up save. So Talon Strike is really good. They're also all pistols, so if they do get tagged by like a blood surge move or something, they can still shoot if they haven't had the chance to shoot yet. And if they get tagged, they can still blast what they're in combat with in the shooting phase. So Talon Strike. Moving on, we've got some utility units here. So we do have an Infiltrator squad, just a 5-man Infiltrators, of course, with their 12-inch deep strike deny and the ability to infiltrate. Pretty handy with them. Moving on, we have 2 3-mans of the Suppressors. If I had a few more points, of course, I would take these as 5-mans and Jump Intercessors, but they're only 75 points. It's the cheapest jump unit I can take. So they've got a 12-inch move, so they can get out there and score me primaries, secondaries, that sort of thing. Of course, they do each have an autocannon that gets 3 shots, strength 8, AP1, 2 damage. That's kind of handy for doing a little bit of damage into basic Marine units or basic infantry. And after they shoot something, that thing is -1 to hit until the start of my next turn. So they can debuff my opponent's attacks sometimes. And then finally, we do have the Thunderstrike Storm Speeder. Thunderstrike has a little bit of shooting, but after it's shot, I pick one of the things that it hit, and the rest of my army will get +1 to wound into that if it is a vehicle or monster. So it gives me +1 to wound into vehicles and monsters. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the lack of an elephant in a room. The DeathWatch Terminators. I think DeathWatch Terminators are really good. They just don't fit into my playstyle super well. I'll have to play around with them more. I know a lot of people love them. They are very good Terminators compared to basic Marine Terminators like Assault or regular Terminators. Just to get that extra shooting from the heavy weapons, the 3 heavy weapons and a 5-man. They have their really good set of rules where they get to reroll charges and they cause battle shocks when they make a charge. Plus, you've got the homing beacon so they can rapid ingress for free if it's near that. A lot of good things about them. They just don't suit my playstyle. Really, it's the Cyclone missile launchers just don't ever impress me in shooting. They're not high enough strength to go into vehicles, high enough AP to do anything with a decent armor save that's in cover, and they're not high enough damage to be effective into even elite infantry. Their damage is D6, and that can be extremely swinging when you're going at 3 or 4 wound heavy infantry. So I've never really been satisfied with them when there are so many other options. So if you're running DeathWatch Terminators, bless you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope they perform so well for you. But when I'm building a competitive list, they just don't make it in. I know they're quite a bit cheaper than things like the Indomitor Kill Team and the Talon Strike, but they don't fit my playstyle. If you're doing well with them, please tell me all about it. I think I will try them again next time I run Librarius DeathWatch because I think it's fun with a librarian attached to them, but not here today. So, as I said, I ran these guys in a couple tournaments, a couple RTTs recently over the last month. They did well, just not quite well enough to win, but Custodes just seems to be my bad matchup. So, definitely going to try to make use of the blast on the Devastator Centurions today. As I mentioned, if I shoot that 20-man brick, each of those guys will get D3 shots plus 4 apiece. So if there's 6 of them, that's going to be 6 D3 plus 24 shots. And I'll make sure I've got sustained on that just to make sure we delete that squad if we get eyes on them. So DJ, you better do a really good job of hiding them and he's standing right behind the camera right now, so he can hear exactly what I'm saying. So it's not going to come as a surprise to him, guys, if I try to shoot those berserks. But other than that, really, I just want to make sure I don't get charged unless it's into my Judicar squad, the Fight First squad. My Talon Strike, my Indomitors, my Dev Sense, I don't want those guys getting charged by berserks or anything else anytime soon. So I just have to play very carefully around that, avoiding getting wrecked. So that means I'm going to have to put some units out there to absorb some charges, some speed bumps for them. And that's really the game plan today. Of course, I do outrange the Forge Friends, the Forge Fiends. I outrange them with my Dev Sense, so I can hopefully keep back and pick those off kind of one at a time, because they will do a ton of work into any of my infantry, really, just because they're high AP, flat 3 damage, strength 10. It's going to be hard for me to sustain or withstand too many shots from those things. So those are my plans today. Use the blast into the big squad and try and zap those shooting units before they zap me. All right, guys, follow me over to the actual battle report. Let's see how they do.